Blue Lock Season 2 has finally released its first episode after 2 years, and I'm going to be giving you everything you need to know about it, from the animation to my thoughts, the best and worst moments, and the community's reaction to the first episode. This is such a big moment because coming off of that Season 2 trailer, a lot of people were worried about Season 2. It built up the opposite of hype, it built up disappointment, and the first season already had animation problems already. And I've never seen a community so divided. It was like a great war of Blue Lock is a slideshow on one side, and this is gonna be the best anime I've ever seen on the other side. If you're watching this, you've probably seen the first episode of Season 2 and are wondering what are other people thinking, or maybe if people agree or disagree with your opinion. Don't worry, we are covering all of that throughout this whole video. There was a lot of anticipation, a lot of questions, and a lot of expectations, so let's get into it. The first thing is the animation. Animation was this big looming cloud above Season 2. Everyone wants to know, is the animation gonna be bad? Is it gonna be a slideshow? I saw one too many Mickey Mouse animation allegations. It's arguably the most important thing for Blue Lock specifically because there was so many problems in the past for it. So episode 1 had a lot of pressure and expectations for the animation, and straight out of the gate, it was good, maybe even better than Season 1. Personally, I think the character models were done better than Season 1. We only got one quote-unquote real fight scene, and that was with Sai's dribbling, and that was done pretty well. The auras, I think, were done good too. It looks way better than those clouds, clunky auras from Season 1. Everything just looked way cleaner. I will say there was no drastic animation improvements that everyone can notice right off the bat. For example, One Piece had drastic animation improvements during their latest arc, but that wasn't really the case here for Blue Lock. Who really cares though? Overall, I think the animation was good. There was no frames that stuck out as bad to you, like you'd have question marks above your head. I know there was a lot of questionable frames during Blue Lock Season 1, but this time around, there was none for Season 2, and specifically for this first episode. We'll talk about the community or everyone else's reaction towards the end. I think Blue Lock did thrive here because it didn't do anything to reinvent the wheel or stick out. The animation didn't drastically improve, but it did all of the good parts right, and improved very slightly. You would rather do everything consistently good rather than really good at times and really bad at times. That was the problem with Season 1, and I think that change is perfect for the first episode of Season 2. But you also have the opposite end of the argument saying that it's the first episode, of course they're gonna pour their budget and time into it compared to a random episode like episode 6. I gotta say, even though the animation didn't improve much, they did an amazing job at setting the tone or mood for the first episode. The hype was built up in each and every single scene. You got the dark room and characters being reintroduced, an opening scene that looks straight out of a horror movie, even the food scene when the characters are just vibing together again. It's all done so beautifully, you can't help but just smile. Even if you think the animation didn't improve, you definitely will agree that this was such an enjoyable watch as a Blue Lock fan. And I think that's what matters most. If the people can enjoy it, then what's the problem? There was just so much hype from the start. It was literally just adding fuel to the fire throughout this episode. You can't get any better than this. They even added new anime-only scenes that I think were a great addition. It didn't take anything away from the manga or take anything away important, but it helped paint a bigger picture for what's to come. Fleshing out the top 6 of Blue Lock and giving us more of their personalities just makes people fans. Like, of course we want to know about these new characters, especially anime-onlys, and the anime-only scene did an amazing job at that. Even if it was little, what mattered was that it was impactful and the scene was great. This is an anime spoiler-free review, so I won't talk about the manga, but I do think the manga could have done better with these scenes, so I'm glad that they put it in the anime for the animes only. And just again, the mood or hype that they build up for these scenes, like the captain of the U20 team at the end of the episode, wow, it just leaves you wanting more and more, and helps hype up these characters that previous hype, they didn't have it in the manga. So to see it here, it's just perfect. I think episode 1 nailed it in that compartment. The hype was just amazing in each and every scene, but what are the best and worst moments from this episode? What were the highlights and the lowlights? Let's rip off the band-aid first and talk about the lowlights, which to be honest, there wasn't that many, especially because everyone's expectations were pretty low. Everyone thought we were gonna get some slideshow of animation, but that wasn't even the case. The biggest complaint, which to be honest, I don't even think it's that big of a deal, it's not that major, it would have to be the CGI usage for some characters. It's a kind of a stark contrast from the very high resolution image of a character that you get, and then in the background you just see someone's face looks like Roblox. Again, I don't even think it's that big of a problem, at least for now, but that's just telling you how good the episode was. The biggest complaint wasn't that big of a problem. We're just nitpicking at this point. If I had to make a complaint, life on the line, I would probably choose this. Compared to the lowlights though, there was a lot of highlights for episode 1. I gotta shout out a few things. I think everyone can agree that opening was really good. I know it's not technically specific to episode 1, but that was a banger. The visuals brought a lot of hype. To be honest, I couldn't even tell what was going on, but it looked cool at least. And the song, per usual, with a BLUELOCK opening, it bangs. This was the same band that made the first opening, and they delivered here again. Another highlight was something I personally really loved from this episode, and that was the voice acting and OSTs. Obviously, from the sub version, BLUELOCK has always been really good at this, but they somehow set the bar even higher. There was a few emotional scenes throughout this episode, and the voice actors they get the moment right, and that's so crucial for any anime in my opinion. The background OSTs were really good as well. We saw the return of some older OSTs. It was so nice hearing it after such a long time as well. It was like Christmas bells ringing in your ear. It's telling you something good's coming. We also got new OSTs. I can't wait to see what's in store for the rest of the season, because the ones they introduced in this episode were already super good. So when we get to the point where we have character-specific OSTs, or we get music for those very hype moments, you already know it's gonna get us viewers just jumping out of our chairs. It's something that BLUELOCK has always done right. Now finally, what is the community reaction to this episode? What does everyone else have to say about BLUELOCK Season 2 and Episode 1? Because that's what matters at the end of the day. Are the people happy? And I gotta say, I've seen a lot of positive feedback, making more or less the same points as me, saying that the hype was unreal, it was built up super well, animation looks super crisp, especially the characters, and they also love the new characters that they added. Shido, Atoya, Yukimiya, and Karasu, this is their first appearances and first impressions, and people really like them. I've seen so many Shido profile pictures already. That's how you know a character has won you over, when someone sets them as their profile picture. Even though it was mostly positive things, I still saw a lot of doubters or negative things as well. People were saying that this is the first episode and it's only gonna get worse from here. Like how in BLUELOCK Season 1, the first episode was amazing, but it progressively got worse in animation, which they're not wrong about. The later episodes did have a fall off in animation. Isagi's aura was also a really big complaint, the green dumpster aura from before, but I do just gotta point something out. That is Isagi's real aura color. Blue is just a starter aura that everyone gets. That being said though, man, Isagi did look way better with the blue one. I also saw a lot of people talk about how there was no need for CGI scenes, so that's why we didn't even see it. Come time for the actual games though, we'll see them use that very clunky CGI walking or dribbling animations that a lot of people were complaining about. The last thing people are talking about or referring to is of course the trailer, and how we haven't really reached the scenes of the trailer that were bad. This would obviously be the actual football or soccer playing, like the passes, the shots, just the frames that didn't look too good in the trailer. The trailer is what caused that war I said at the beginning of this video, because everyone on any social media platform, if you mention BLUELOCK, that Season 2 trailer and the animation would somehow get brought up. There would be people clowning on it, people defending it, just so many interaction because of that trailer. However, the complaint is that people are saying the trailer is what really is to come, and the first episode is just false hope, because the actual football playing, you know, the games and everything like that, is the most important part that will take up the majority of the season. Not just character introductions like the first episode, it's gonna be them playing, and the trailer already showed us that, which was disappointing for a lot of people. In my opinion, I think people are just choosing to be negative, but I think we've won over most of the doubters for now with this episode. I do agree how we shouldn't jump to conclusions and wait till the season or more episodes to drop to really have a solid opinion on the animation, but this episode definitely makes us hopeful. I think this episode was a really enjoyable watch for the second season. Even if you disagree and say the animation is bad, I think everyone can get around the fact that this episode was enjoyable to watch. The hype, the introduction of characters, and just seeing everyone again, it's so good. This is a way different format than my usual videos, but I did just want to get my opinion out there, as well as just give you all the news and everything you need to know about Season 2 and the first episode, like the community's reaction and what was good and wasn't good. There is still so many episodes coming, and I'm all here for it. Season 2 is finally here. No matter if it's good or bad, we're still getting new BLUELOCK content, which I'm always going to be happy for. But let me know your thoughts on the animation so far what you think or just your thoughts in general on season 2, and if you're hyped. If you watched to the end though, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it as always. My name's Hiryo, and I'll see y'all in the next one.